Hello, this is NTA Nationwide News, broadcast live from Abuja. I am Ifoma Ojintan. You can watch this news live on our website, www.nta.ng/live, and all other social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thanks for joining us. And we begin with FEC. And this report is for the traveling public, as the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, has apologized to passengers for the difficult moments they experienced as a result of the strike action embarked on by the nation's aviation workers. The minister, while speaking on the now suspended strike action, regrets the industrial action ever happened at all, as there are laid down procedures of dealing with grievances. He promised that such disruptions will not occur in the future.
And the reason is simple. Aviation is an essential service. The act has been assented by Mr. President. So strikes and riots around our airports are prohibited by law of the land. And now that we have the act in place, assented by Mr. President, passed by National Assembly, we will deal with it according to the law. We will ensure that no essential service is being disrupted by anybody, no matter how aggrieved. There are other channels of channeling issues when they arise, but they are not permitted to hold strike, because aviation is an essential service and is by the law of the land now. I'll give you an example. There was an air return. There is a return by one of the airlines back to base because they couldn't land. Imagine if there's a patient in that aircraft. Imagine somebody tending to a very serious issue or matter at hand, or business, or a student trying to catch up with an exam, or something like that, of that kind of nature. And then because of some body who's aggrieved, some other person will die. Government will no longer allow that. So it's in the law of the land. You check the FAN Act, it's been assented to, and it's going to take place soon. In fact, now, from today.
Hadi Sirika also appeals to the aviation workers, stressing the readiness of governments to listen to any grievances with open ears and mind.
Ears are always open. Government is open to listen to any grievance, and there are procedures for dealing with this kind of grievances. They should please desist from this. It is wrong, it is inhuman, it is not allowed, it is not permitted. We will not be permitting it any longer.
The minister spoke to State House correspondent Jide Onifade on the sideline of the Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. And now to legislative matters. Senate has called on the Inspector General of Police to investigate the killing of a Catholic priest in Niger State, Reverend Father Isaac Achi, and a councillor, Saleh Alawa, in Niger State. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo reports.
Challenges of insecurity started the day's proceedings. The killing of a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Isaac Achi, and a councillor, Saleh Alawa, in Niger State were tabled on the floor by Senator Sani Musa. Senators were unanimous in the call for investigation and prosecution of the perpetrators and for the National Emergency Management Agency to rebuild the church destroyed by the attackers.
Aware also that the late Reverend Father survived multiple attacks and was also abducted in Madela and spent days in captivity until his church members raised some ransom before he regained his freedom.
Look at the several attempts that he survived assassination. It invokes so much empathy.
Urge the Nigerian police and other relevant security agencies to carry out comprehensive investigation of these dastardly acts and promptly arrest and prosecute the perpetrators. Condole with Bishop of Mina Diocese, Catholic faithful, and bereaved family.
It also urged security agencies to investigate the disappearance of Deputy Commandant of the Security and Civil Defense Corps, Raymond Gadi, in Yenegua, Bayelsa State, as moved by Senator Emmanuel Oke Jeff. Security issues continued on the floor as Senate confirmed the appointment of former Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase as chairman of Police Service Commission. Senate Committee on Police Affairs, which screened the nominee, presented its findings.
The committee was satisfied and impressed with how the nominee competently answered all the questions posed to him, as well as his qualification and relevant experience, and hereby recommended that the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Solomon E. Arase, CFR, as chairman of the Police Service Commission.
The Federal Medical Center Okigwe Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Frank Ibezim, passed second reading.
3, to run an effective and cost-effective medical services to Nigerians, and lastly, to review and update medical findings and research from time to time.
Senate concurred on 7 bills. These include a bill that seeks to remove the National Assembly from the contributory pension scheme and establish the National Assembly Pension Commission. Senate has adjourned to 28th of February 2023 to enable members participate in the ongoing electoral process. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives has asked security agencies to fish out oil marketers and other economic saboteurs that may be responsible for persistent fuel scarcity across the country. The lawmakers also mandated relevant House committee to conduct an investigation on the matter, just as it resolved to invite regulatory body in the sector for a meeting with leadership of the House of Representatives. Sequel to a motion from Representative Leke Abejide, the House wants the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, being the sole importer of refined petroleum products, to find ways of easing the queues at filling stations. House members noted with concern that despite the approval of subsidy by the federal government, some saboteurs deliberately manipulate the system and cause hardship on Nigerians. And the seemingly undersupply of fuel in most independent petrol stations has continued like an unresolved puzzle. It is even more baffling that while designated petrol stations look like they are dry during scarcity, illegal fuel vendors are always operating right in front of these petrol stations, preying on people's desperation for fuel. Now, where is their product coming from? Are petroleum marketers complicit? Well, let's try to find some answers to these questions in this report by Lydia Sampson.
Yunusa Ibrahim's excitement as a petrol hawker resonates with others in the unwholesome business. For them, it is simply about taking advantage of the scarcity whenever it arises to make some quick money.
I come to hustle for this Abuja. I try to hustle, to chop, to do everything. Now for black market, now only black market we can't do for here. It's all good.
They reveal how and why they never run out of the product.
Almost 2,000 something. You go give them bribe almost 300 for pump attendants. You from now machine go buy them inside. Your machine go buy them, your machine go sell them for you. Almost 3,000, 3,001. You go sell them 4,000, 35.
Motorists who patronize petrol hawkers, popularly known as black marketers, say to avoid the long delay of joining queues, the black market is the only available option.
I saw the queue yesterday. I couldn't do it. Immediately I came from work. What do? I bought black market 10 liter.
I don't want to buy adulterated fuel. That's why I come into the station. No matter how long I have to queue, I just come in and buy my fuel.
I had one experience when I bought from the black market. Within 2 minutes, my car off. I couldn't move until they told it and they had to wash my fuel tank.
If the fuel in my car can't take me out, I would rather park rather than patronizing them.
There are some people who can afford the black market. They don't care. They will come and park their Jeep, put 2-3 gallons on it. They will drive off.
Yes, selling fuel outside is very dangerous. It can be explosive at any time.
However, There's good news in the horizon as key players believe the terminal and bulk storage regulation of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority will help in mitigating issues around scarcity.
We should have strategic stock across the country, up country, and there are storages everywhere, even though pipelines need to be revamped. So this regulation addresses that need.
On allegations that some NNPC limited retail stations are complicit, key players believe it's simply a rush towards uniform prices that only the NNPC limited retail stations offer across the country.
As of today, NNPC Retail is the only oil company that sells fuel at uniform price the whole country. So you would expect the same price in Lagos, the same price in Abuja, the same price in Katsina. So many people will go there, and because of that, a lot of people are very envious. NPC cannot do that. They are trying their best, and you know, when you even merge or you acquire, you have some teething problems. I do not expect this thing to happen, and it's not possible with the current management.
While independent marketers insist that their members are not supplying petrol vendors, Yunusa Ibrahim and his black market cohort say for them, business is not just good, but exceeding their expectations. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Barely a week to end exchange of the old Naira notes with the redesigned currency by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the mood in Gaidam and other communities in the eastern axis of Yobe State is more of apprehension and uncertainty as majority risk losing their hard-earned incomes due to lack of commercial banks in the locality. Mustafa Yusuf, who was at the area to assess the situation, reports that Gaidam is among the 4 out of 17 local government areas of Yobe State without a commercial bank.
Abubakar Muhammad is a 50-year-old Nigerian who lives in the Pap province in the neighboring Niger Republic, from where he crosses the border to conduct his legitimate business and add value to the nation's economy. Just like other Gaidam residents, life is increasingly becoming unbearable following the CBN stance to end circulation of the old Naira note with those redesigned by the end of this month, as more than 70% of commercial activities there are being conducted in Nigerian currency and outside the banking system. This time around, Abubakar was forced to abort his mission due to non-availability of the new notes. This ordeal was further corroborated by a POS operator who alleged of paying 60,000 naira for every 1 million naira note in order to stay in business. This development has severely affected the economy of most families, including livestock dealers, whose leadership lamented that before the issue of swapping of the new naira note came up, 150 trailers used to convey livestock to other parts of the country.
Please, we are pleading to the government, both the state government and the federal government and the central bank, to come to the aid of our people. Our people are suffering. The deadline, but they say is next week. But next week, up to now, we not get the new money here.
And then the new money, there is no any new money now. Our people are suffering.
A peculiarity that aggravates the situation in Gaidam is lack of a commercial bank in the area to facilitate implementation of the CBN policy with ease, following the destruction of the only existing bank then by Boko Haram insurgent in 2011, and up to today, none was established for the fear of the insurgents. From Gaidam in Yobe State, Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
Lagos is our first stop on Nationwide, and Hingino is our guide. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Ifoma, and welcome to Lagos. With the Lagos Blue Rail unveiled for utilization by President Muhammadu Buhari, residents have lauded the project, describing it as a welcome development capable of impacting positively on the socio-economic life of the state. This is what Lanre Bile gathered from the people while interacting with them.
No activities is going on here at the Marina Blue Rail train station in Lagos. Our findings told us that the staff have been given a break after the euphoria of unveiling this beautiful station by President Muhammadu Buhari. That does not diminish the fact that this is an unprecedented move by Lagos State government to establish a better transport system in and around Lagos State. Lagos residents speaking on their expectations as the rail project becomes a reality.
My own projection, when it is done, of course, what it will really is a traffic situation in Lagos, because as we all know, Lagos is very, very hectic when it comes to traffic situation.
Business to be done faster. Even the stations themselves, they will create, aside of the direct job of those that will be employed, it's also creating direct jobs. Those that will be selling there.
It's going to go a long way. In terms of transportation, to realize the traffic and a lot of things.
Movement of products, movement of people from one place to another. It's going to be very, very easy. With positive anticipation, they await the actual commencement of services and other activities at the station. In Lagos, Larry Gileyi, NTA News.
While the Kirikiri Light Terminal of the Nigerian Customs Service has its sight fixed on countering smuggling activities, enhancing trade facilitation and ensuring that every kobo due to the federal government is accounted for, it is equally prioritizing the health and welfare of its officers and men. A facility instituted for such purpose is equally serving the command's immediate environment. Michael Olale reports.
The Kirikiri Lighter Terminal of the Nigeria Customs Service is one of the most affected by the traffic situation on the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway, as most of the containers transferred to the command are conveyed through barge. Inaccessible road equally means getting medical attention could be tricky, and this move is propelled by understanding the nexus between a healthy body and a sound mind. The Assistant Controller General in charge of Zone A, while describing the initiative as bringing healthcare to the doorstep of the people, added that it will boost officers' morale to effectively carry out the task of revenue generation for the federal government.
You need good health for officers to protect the borders effectively and also collect legitimate revenue. You can only facilitate legitimate trade, so we expect better compliance from our stakeholders and of course better revenue, and also with the e-customs automation coming up, we have increased revenue and also better service delivery to our stakeholders.
While being optimistic that more successes in its anti-smuggling efforts will be credited to the provision of the facility, the command said 29 40-foot and 3 20-foot containers were seized in 9 seizures in 2022 with duty paid value of more than 737 million naira, while the sum of 44.36 billion naira was generated as against 36.9 raked in 2021.
We were also able to establish a dispute resolution committee as one of our efforts at trade facilitation in the command, comprising the strategic units to address issues whenever they arise.
A new task awaits the controller as he resumes duty at the headquarters as the acting ACG in charge of excise, free trade zone and industrial incentives. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. It's time for a break. Nationwide will be back with Felicia in just shortly.
The 19th edition of the PMB Administration Scorecard Series will feature the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami. Date, Thursday, 26 January 2023. Time, 10:30 a.m. Venue, National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja. The event will be broadcast live by NTA, FRCN, and VON, and streamed on the social media handles of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer, Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
country people, they talk with one voice. Them say that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu them want as president of Nigeria for this president election.
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu na the man where we all know and see all the good work in they do for the country, especially when him be governor of Lagos State.
Now him got the use turn Lagos to the best state for Nigeria.
Today, many people all over Nigeria, they like to go Lagos, go settle down for business and better life.
All because of the good work when Bola Tinubu do.
People of Nigeria, as Asiwaju do for Lagos, now so him ready to do am for the whole country.
Vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for president of Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC, the party we get a broom.
What are we doing as a nation to first of all settle our teeming populace, especially the
NTA's political package with a third eye on the nation's political scene? I am Fisa Ogunfuyi. Welcome.
You have to be very careful giving space to people who are obviously sponsored to further the agenda of some other groups.
We have a lot of questions. A lot of questions in a closed door sessions. Some of these issues, some of the problems bedeviling the their.
In fact, between June 1st and July 17, 19-point-something billion has left the coffers of the NDDC.
I can say my constituency, they need everything because we don't have anything.
Sportybet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
Still on to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Jos. Ahead of 2023 general elections, Interfaith Peace Summit is advising religious leaders and political parties to preach messages of peace, unity and harmonious living to their subjects for the overall development of the country. The Peace Summit, organized by Al-Habibia Islamic Society, held in Jos. Alisa Batukai Andrew has details.
The event, attended by leaders of various religions as well as stakeholders responsible for the success of the 2023 general elections, hinged on the theme Prosecuting Peaceful Elections, with emphasis on the role of faith communities.
We took the decision to engage in various parts of the country to make sure that people get to terms with working peacefully around elections.
Proactive move, to sensitize the people on the need for peaceful coexistence, peace during, before, during, and even after elections.
The lead speakers, Chief Imam of Kafanchan and Plateau State Camp Chairman, say as pulpit managers, the interests of the people and leading them according to the teachings of the Holy Book should come first, as peaceful coexistence is the basis for socio-economic development.
Go and utilize messages from both the Quran and the Bible that speaks about togetherness, good neighborliness.
The religious leader has a duty, but they should look at the common good of the people.
Goodwill messages came from the representatives of security agencies and political parties, emphasizing on promoting tolerance, peaceful coexistence and unity as a panacea for development. The key players urged participants to relay the peace messages to their various communities. In Jos, Alisa Botukai Andrew, NTA News.
Plateau State Police Command has paraded 6 suspects for criminal conspiracy, unlawful possession of firearms and ammunition. Rep Longdomtur reports.
The Commissioner of Police explained that the successes recorded could not have been achieved without the security strategies put in place. These include intelligence-led stop and search operations.
By renewed strategies in combating crimes and criminalities have disorganized criminal activities in the state and translated into what you can simply call Operation Victories, as evidenced in the recent recoveries of stolen vehicles, release of one of my dutiful police officers from the brutal hands of his captors in Pension LGA, the release of His Royal Highness Reverend Dr. Aziwakili, the paramount ruler of Jos East local government, among others.
4 suspects were arrested and paraded for criminal conspiracy, unlawful possession of firearms and ammunition.
Police patrol team attached to several highway office of the command while on routine vehicular patrol operation along Shen, Bukru Route, Jos South, AGA, intercepted a gold-colored Honda Accord car, 200 rounds of J3 live ammunition, 7.62 by 5.1 mm, 80 rounds of AK-47 live ammunition, and 56 pieces of Type O6 live ammunition, and 1 empty magazine were found in the vehicle.
2 suspects operating along Bukuru axis were also apprehended for car snatching. They are alleged to be members of a car snatching syndicate. In Jos, Replong Domsu, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Jos. Ifeoma is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia. 31st of January is around the corner, deadline for the use of some old Naira notes by the Central Bank of Nigeria. In Jigawa State, Hawa Halila reports that there is much acceptance of the old notes as residents lament scarcity of the new ones.
I'm a money agent. I come from far away Oyo town because the new money is not available there.
Closing the business becomes necessary because if I have collected old note, I don't have bank account deposited.
Someone just bought an item of 5,000 naira, but out of the total money, only 200 naira is new notes.
In Mina, Fatima Usman, who went round transaction points, reports that old Naira notes are still widely accepted, while most ATMs dispense the new Naira notes.
It's good. The withdrawal limit is small.
For the bank I use, I was able to withdraw just 30,000 naira, and then the other bank just 20,000 naira, and I have to pay like about 60,000.
From Aba, Abia State, Grace Nana reports on various cash points still dispensing the old notes, with those living in rural communities yet to have a sight of the new.
Especially that 200 naira, I have not even seen how it is. The 500 I have seen, but it has not come to my hand.
I think the federal government need to do more in terms of mobilization and centralization.
The story was different in Abeokuta, where Yemi Dalemo reports that customers lament on withdrawal limits at commercial banks.
1,000, which is the new rate, the new note. So instead of using that 60,000 now for urgent need.
I only withdraw 20 and I was told I have entered limits.
Federal government has set in motion a mechanism to assess the impact of flood on road infrastructure in Nigeria following devastating flood that ravaged some parts of the country last year. This is at the instance of Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute. Justin Bem Unyi reports.
Just few months back, flash floods ravaged some states in Nigeria, in which roads and bridges were affected by overflow and stagnation water, and collapse of bridges in some cases. The challenge before pavement scientists now is to begin to look at materials and design specifications that would make asphalt pavements to be resilient in responding to flood impact without compromising the performance. This is why the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute is now bringing in professionals and stakeholders in the road construction industry and disaster management to profile lasting and sustainable solutions to road infrastructures affected by flood.
Is there a way we can design our structure so that any time there is a flood next year or there is flood subsequent years, will our structure will still be tested? Will it have a test of time? Even when flood comes up.
The committee would look into assessing the impact of floods on road infrastructure in Nigeria.
The technical committee, drawn from different ministries and agencies, is to work out action plans towards investigating the causes and finding solutions to road infrastructural damages arising from flood effects and creating awareness on the need to fully embrace principles of sustainability and flood management. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Traffic in commercial city of Kano can be traumatic, especially in early hours of the day, but the desire by residents to enjoy free flow of traffic may soon come to fruition with the construction of Muhammadu Buhari Interchange Bridge. It is one of the landmark projects built for inauguration when President Muhammadu Buhari visits the ancient commercial city. Correspondent Mohammed Musa Askira files this update on state of the project expected to redefine intercity traffic in the town.
For those who are conversant with the ancient city of Kano, this is just one of so many chaotic points where traffic is heavily experienced. Commuters and other road users find it very difficult to navigate their way out to their places of business and work.
This is my regular way, so every time I used to face traffic problem.
As we are now, it can take them up to 15 or 20 minutes.
Traffic is too much. While the frustrating traffic situation experienced by citizens on transit in some of these locations will not last forever, as this Muhammadu Buhari Interchange Bridge is part of the solution to address the menace. In addition to addressing the traffic challenges, it is also adding to the aesthetic beauty of the ancient city of Kano.
This bridge is very beautiful.
The bridge is beautiful. I am happy.
It reminds me when I went to Saudi Arabia. I saw so many types of this bridge there. Actually,
the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, presented a letter to leadership of the union, tasking it to put welfare of member above all.
App-based transport system became more popular in Nigeria in 2014 in major cities like Lagos and Abuja. This informal sector business has now spread to almost every state of the Federation, creating a lot of jobs for drivers and easing urban transportation. Still yet, major